Cake baking crisis. Power outage.
Hello there. We're tackling a conundrum that's occurred in many a baker's kitchen. What happens if you're baking a cake and there's a sudden power outage? Can you still eat the cake, or is it a lost cause? Well, let's get down to the doughy details.
What happens to the cake during a power outage?
Firstly, it's important to understand what occurs during the baking process. When you're baking a cake, heat from the oven causes the water in the batter to turn into steam, which helps the cake rise. The heat also denatures the proteins in the eggs, making the cake set in its fluffy, risen state. However, a power outage means your oven suddenly loses its heat source. If your cake hasn't been in the oven long enough to cook through, it might not be safe to eat. The center of the cake could still be raw batter, which might contain uncooked eggs.
Can you resume baking after the power returns?
Yes, you can, and this is often the best option. If your power outage was short, your oven may have retained enough heat to continue cooking the cake slowly, even without electricity. However, if the outage lasted more than a few minutes, you'll probably need to bake the cake for longer once the power comes back on. It's important to keep in mind that this may result in changes to your cake's texture and appearance. It might not rise as much as it normally would, or it could be denser than usual.
Is it safe to eat the cake?
The safety of your cake really depends on whether it has been cooked thoroughly. Raw cake batter, especially those containing eggs, could pose a risk due to potential salmonella contamination. Once the power is back on, check your cake by inserting a toothpick or skewer into the middle. If it comes out clean, your cake has finished baking. If not, put it back in the oven until it is fully baked. However, if the power outage was very long and your cake has been sitting at room temperature for over 2 hours, it's safest to discard it. In conclusion, a power outage doesn't necessarily mean your cake is ruined. It might be okay to eat if you can resume baking once the power comes back on. However, always ensure your cake is fully baked to ensure it's safe to eat. Happy baking, and let's hope for no more power outages.